Okay, so now that we know that C chord in our left hand, we have that 1, 3, 5, 7 voicing, and then we know kind of how a jazz pianist goes about soloing with the right hand. You know, let's learn another chord so that we can play both this chord and then another chord and solo with that, and you know, it'll just make it more interesting, like rather than just staying on the C chord the whole time. So let's learn that new chord. So we've got our 1, 3, 5, 7 here in our left hand, and what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these notes right here, and you can take them and move them up one note in all white keys. So that's going to give us this chord, which is going to start from the D or the 2. And so we'll just call this the 2 chord. And so the first chord that we had was the 1 here that was starting on C. And then we're going to move it up one note in all white keys, and that is our 2 chord. So you want to get, kind of fluent, just being able to play this chord and go from this one, the 1 chord to the 2 chord, to the 1 chord to the 2 chord. And, and while we're doing that, like we can solo in these white keys and just really make like any beautiful sound that you want, or like, and then just change the chords, whatever you feel like it. So just kind of play random notes here. So there, I'm being kind of really random with this, but and if you're just beginning, like just play random notes, like and don't be unconfident about it. Just go in there and just play some notes. And like if it sounds like crap, that's totally fine. Like let's just go between these 2 chords and make sure they're sounding really good to you though. So all the notes are being played down at the same time. And your soloing up here is sounding decent. You're playing some notes, and it's sounding cool. I want you to get really loose, with what you're playing up here, and not be afraid to make mistakes. And that's what's really important, in all of this stuff, is just don't be afraid. We're expressing ourselves here, like who cares what other people think or whether you're playing wrong notes, unless I guess if your parents are around or something while you're playing, but or your girlfriend or something's making fun of you. But like let's go to like this. So the 2 chord right here and the 1 chord, like just solo with whatever you want in your right hand, and just be confident about it. And so some like kind of general guidelines for when you're soloing over these 2 chords is you can play from the 2. You can play whatever you want in the 2, basically. Just play all of these white keys on the 2. And then when you go to the 1 though, like one really cool thing to do is you can play the 3rd or the 7th note when you go to that 1. So like chords, they tend to have these notes that sound good over them. Like when I play this chord right here, the 3 and the 7, like just for some reason that we'll get into later, they sound really good when you land on them. So if I'm doing a little chord progression here with the 2 and the 1, then I can play whatever I want on the 2. But then when I get to that 1, I want to land on the 3 or the 7. Like those notes are just going to sound good. So it kind of gives you like a note that you have a goal note that you can go to, so that you're not just kind of soloing randomly and landing on some random note when I get to this 1 chord. So you go to the 2, and you can play whatever you want. But then let's land on that 3 note, so the 3rd, when I go to the C chord. So 3, I wanted to play the 3 there. And then I play whatever I want again. I'll play on the 2, whatever, playing whatever, playing whatever, and then I'm gonna go to the 3 right here. So I wanted to make sure I hit that 3 when I went to that 1 chord. And you can do the same for the 7th. But why this is so important is because like if I'm soloing, then let's say like this is what I would solo like. If I want to really play something beautiful, I'm just don't worry about how crazy the soloing is. Just notice that I'm landing on the 3 when I get to that 1. I'm on the 2. 3, right? So I kind of jumped there, but I made sure that I hit that 3 when I went back to the 1. And it's so important because, you know, if you can have a goal note like that you know is going to sound good, then it can really structure your soloing so that you know you're hitting the notes that sound good on the chords that you're going to, and that's just it'll feel really good when you do it. So I really recommend you try just playing around with these 2 chords, and then also making sure that you know you land on that 3 or that 7 when you go to the C chord. And you know, use all the things I told you about licks as well. You know, you can play this 1, 2, 3, 5, and then move that down and play that same rhythm. You know, and kind of use that, make that lick with your right hand, and then make sure that you land on the 3rd or 7th when you return to the 1 chord.